Hey, so I've been thinking about this for a little while, and just haven't made this video. And then this thing happened the other day that really just kind of, I don't know, really made me think about the whole thing again. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this video. Uh, so the other day I was in the front area of this store, like sitting outside of it, and I was kind of annoyed because there was this guy who had like parked his car badly, like right in front of the shop, and I on my motorbike was going to park there and couldn't because of the way that he had angled his car and all this stuff. So I was like, I'm not someone who gets like road ragey about anything. I was just kind of like mildly annoyed by the situation. And he stayed in his car for quite a long time. So I had gone and sat in the front because my appointment wasn't ready yet. So I was like sitting there, and the amount of time it took him to actually get out of his car, come around the side of it, and like start coming up the steps, I wasn't super paying attention to him. I was doing something else. And then I just kind of became aware of how long this had been taking. And I looked over, and he's a very, very large man, Western man, like 300 pounds, but also really tall, like just a big, big person. And he was really struggling to walk. Like, it was very slow, his process. And every single movement just took a lot of effort and a lot of time. And then the stairs that led up to the patio that's right in front of the store have no handrail, like nothing to help him, hoist himself up. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the door that actually opens to this shop. And I know this door, it's a big, heavy glass door that swings in both directions, so it doesn't actually stay put. So if he's trying to like hold this door open and get himself through the door, it doesn't seem like a good situation. So I've been experiencing Ajahn Gimyu for I think he's been at the gym for a couple of years now, maybe 2 years now. He's on the edge of 80. He looks very frail, although he's actually incredibly strong, but he loses his balance very easily. His legs are not that good, and so he'll just fall over sometimes. But Ajahn Gimyu is adamant he does not want people fawning over him or helping him unnecessarily. He wants to do things himself. He will accept if he falls over. He'll allow you to like help him get back up, but not if you're doing it with the tone of, oh my god, let me help you. Like, it just kind of has to be this poker face, like, oh, and now I'm helping you get up. You can hand him his cane or something like this, but he does not want to be treated as though he's disabled. He does not like that. So I'm watching this guy walk up these stairs in a very difficult way. This is definitely not a accommodating setup for him, and I'm getting concerned about this door, that this is going to be really difficult for him to come through. And so I figured that the best way to offer help while also offering dignity at the same time, I just looked at him and I said, can I help you with that door? And he paused for a second, and he's like, okay. And so he's coming up, and I go, and I just kind of hold the door open for him, and he actually has to brace himself like against the handle of the door pretty hard as he's going through, but he makes his way through, and he sits down, and it's fine. This is not a Sylvie's a hero story for holding a door open. This is about seeing this situation and it kind of really clarifying what I've been meaning to talk about for quite a while and just not really been able to make this video because I just didn't, I don't know, this was like a catalyst for it. Is that people with visible issues that are very differently abled, they're unable to do some things that seem very simple. Like, I was pissed at the way this guy parked his car, and then the minute he got out of his car and I started paying attention, I was like, oh shit, I'm the asshole. Like, I'm the one that needs to realize that him parking here is totally the appropriate thing to do. Is that I'm sorry, like, to people who are differently abled, that people who are just kind of normally abled, we have no fucking idea how to act around you. Like, I was very nervous asking that man if I could help him or not. And I'm happy with myself that instead of like jumping up and fawning over him, which I might have done if I didn't have this experience with Ajahn Gimyu, just being polite about it. Can I help you with that? In the same way that, you know, if you see someone who's like really struggling with their 9 grocery bags, but they're able-bodied, you'd be like, can I help you with that? Rather than like, oh my God, let me get this for you, whatever. That not knowing how to respond to someone makes that person feel really bad. Like, it doesn't feel good. And I'm sorry that that's probably a very common experience, maybe even especially in the gym, is this kind of like overcompensating, like over accommodating someone's abilities or wherever those limits are. And I think that there's a weird line, like a weird line in there that's kind of hard to gauge, which is that some people will overdo it, which this is bizarre, but as a woman, and maybe especially so as a small woman, people will over accommodate the like, I have to go super light, I don't want to hurt you, I'm going to be super light, I don't want to touch you kind of thing, and it's actually very insulting. I understand that where people are actually coming from is that they're trying to be polite and helpful, and I am very small compared to some people and they don't want to hurt me, but it's also quite insulting because I'm like, you could not hurt me if you tried. Like, I have been so bashed around by my bigger training partners and my coaches and things like this. Like, there's no way that you're turning me too hard in the clinch that I'm trying to show you is gonna hurt me, and it's insulting. And I think that women experience this maybe quite often, and as a small woman, I experience it quite a lot. So maybe small men get it too. I don't like it, and so I imagine that people with different abilities, who people are like super trying to be accommodating to, probably don't like it either. But then there's this other side to it, which is that people who are clearly, visibly overcoming something, maybe not in person, but their stories often get usurped as what's called inspiration porn for able-bodied people, which is kind of gross. But so you'll see, you know, I was watching a climbing documentary, so it was a bunch of climbers, like amazing free climbers, and, you know, they're kind of different ways of doing things. There's like, you know, some use a little bit of a rope, some use absolutely no rope, and it's just kind of like looking at the community. And there's a man from China who was a climber, and then he had a car accident, and now he's in a wheelchair, and he's continued to climb, and he made this decision that he was going to climb with his chair. And he was making this kind of like, it's weird to call it political, but he's like making a social statement about his life is in his chair, and so he didn't want his story to be that he's escaping his chair when he climbs. He wanted it to come with him, which I thought that was really amazing. Like, that was a very, very strong message that he was sending. But I think there's a very tricky line in getting that message and seeing what he's saying and finding that inspiring, and then just basically seeing these like compilations of, you know, one-legged runners or amputee athletes and things like this. Like, in the short term, there's kind of this inspiration porn of, you know, highlights and not actually getting into who these people are and things like this. But then these same people who are like, oh my God, that's so amazing, this is like so inspiring, are not supporting Paralympics. Like, they're not all in on what that actually means, which, I don't know. It's highly problematic for sure. So basically what I'm trying to say in this video, and what I was trying to say in these examples, is that if you're differently abled, if you are like visibly differently abled, and you're, you know, doing things that people expect you not to be able to do, one, I'm sorry that people don't know how to act around you. That sucks. I'm sorry that it's kind of a like teaching moment every time you go out. That's rough. But I also want to encourage you that it's truly amazing that you are doing what you want to do given those obstacles, and not making it as much a focus as people who are able to make it a focus, I guess is the way to say that. So, one, I'm sorry that people don't know how to deal with you. And two, it's amazing that you know how to deal with you. That's really, really cool. And I find that really cool. I liked how this guy in his moment of hesitation of whether he was going to let me open the door for him or not, like, was just deciding whether this was an okay thing. Like, I liked his attitude. He was a little bit gruff. And then there's a second part to this, which is that there are tons of people who do not have visible issues. Their issues are invisible. And so there's this completely opposite issue that's going on, which is like the way that when this guy was parking his car in a way that I didn't like, and I was kind of being a dick about it, I couldn't see that he had issues. I couldn't see it. And so I just had these expectations about what his behavior was supposed to be. And that is a perfect example of what it's like to have an invisible illness and be working through it, or working with it, or whatever the thing is. And in the way that people have no idea how to act around someone who has a visible issue, people who have invisible issues just have all these assumptions about what they should be able to do or what should be easy for them or any of these things. And that's also really shitty. There are people who are working through invisible illnesses or, all kinds of things that you can't see, that you're not aware of, that, man, what they're doing is incredible, and you just don't know. You just can't see it, and so they don't get credit for it. And not getting credit for it is like this shadow version of people getting, like, the inspiration porn, too much attention on it kind of thing. I remember for a while it was like the t-shirt that everyone had, which was like, your workout is my warm-up, or whatever the thing is. People with invisible illnesses, people with depression and anxiety who are just trying to get to the gym and that kind of thing, your entire week is their workout. Like, it's hard, man. It can be really, really, really hard to do the things that these people are doing. Just getting there. And you have no idea. Like, you have no idea how hard that is for someone. And so you've just got this, like, oh, yeah, they just came and did this small thing, and I'm doing this amazing thing. You don't fucking know. Like, you don't know what someone's doing. So I guess the message is just be kind. Like, just be kind. You don't know anyone's business. If you can see someone's issue, that doesn't mean it's your business. That doesn't mean it's something that you necessarily have to help them overcome or anything like that. Just, you can see it. It's not like, I don't see people's disabilities, or I don't see people's difference in ability. It's not like that. You can see it. You can be kind to it. You can offer help, and if it's not accepted, that's fine. Like, you don't have to like fawn over anybody, and at the same time, you don't need to make assumptions about what people's abilities are if you can't see anything very obvious about what they're doing. So, encouragement to people with both visible and invisible issues that they're dealing with. It's fucking hard. Like, for everyone, it can be really, really hard, and you even if you see what someone's struggling with, you don't actually really know what they're struggling with. Like, the way this guy was coming up the stairs with no handrail, this place was definitely not accommodating to people with, bodies that are having difficulties walking upstairs. He's not asking for help. He's not complaining about it. It's possible that, like, the worst part about that was the possibility of someone coming and trying to fawn over him, rather than that it's really hard to get up these stairs. So, I don't know. I don't really know that man's experience, so I'm going to try to not assume that I know what that man's experience is, but leaving your mind open to what that might be like for people, and not assuming that what you're looking at is necessarily what the struggle is, I think is also really important. Yeah. Be kind. That's the message all the time. Be kind, be kind. That's my blood.